Hello and welcome to another edition of Tuesdays with Flu, the Disability Policy for All. Today I have the great fortune to be talking to Carol Wright, who is the co-director of the National Aging and Disability Transportation Center. We haven't talked about transportation, but transportation is so very important for a lot of various reasons, and I'm sure that Carol will tell us. So welcome, Carol.
Thanks, Liz. It's really nice to be here. Thanks for including us in your interview.
The first question is, can you tell the audience about the new center and the purpose of it?
I'd be glad to. We are so excited about our new center. The National Aging and Disability Transportation Center is funded by the Federal Transit Administration, and it is just getting off the ground. It was recently launched. We started in December of 2015, but of course it's a slow process of getting started. When you first get your funding, you have to set up your website, you have to set up your toll-free number for assistance, and get all your resources in place, and so it takes a while. We just had our celebration and briefing, which you were able to attend, and we are very excited to be out and about and making sure that the public now gets to know about our center. The National Aging and Disability Transportation Center is a partnership between the National Area Association on Aging, which is called N4A, and Easter Seals. We're co-partners on the center, and we have two co-directors. I'm a director, and so is Virginia Dyes, who is from N4A. And together these two agencies represent the disability community and represent the aging community, which are the two focal points for the center. What our main mission is to promote the availability and accessibility of transportation for older adults and people with disabilities and the caregivers. And we want to make sure that these options are available for people who need to have accessible transportation. And we also know that if accessible transportation is available for this audience, it's available for all, which is really important.
Thank you. How will the website help our audience?
Well, we have a website that we're really proud of. It is a very accessible website. It is accessible to people with disabilities, as well as anyone else who wants to view the website. It is really interactive, and it is easy to navigate. It has lots of resources on it for people. Our audience tends to be professionals in transportation, in aging, in disabilities, in human services, and in caregiving. And those are the people who we tend to focus our energy on in terms of having materials available to them. But the website is also available to people who have disabilities or older adults who also want to get the same kinds of information that can be available to them. It's very easy to navigate. The website address is www.nadtc.org. And when you get there, you'll find that unlike some websites where it sends you all over the place, this one is very easily laid out, and it's easy to find things. It also includes a button on it that you can push called for the Elder Locator, and that button will actually help you find a ride. So if you are a person with a disability, an older adult, or a caregiver, and you are looking for a ride, and you are in Nebraska, or you are in South Dakota, or you are in Florida, it doesn't matter where in the country you are, that Elder Locator button can help you find the resources that you need for a ride. So we have partnerships with other organizations that can also help your audience as well.
Is that also available? You said it's for elders.
And people with disabilities and caregivers, anyone. So that button is available to say, these are the transportation programs that are available in your area. And then we've also found that when people are looking for transportation, they might have other needs as well. And so for the elder care locator, transportation is often the number 1 or number 2 request that hotline gets. But they have resources for all kinds of other things. That's a program that is funded by or funded through N4A, and we just partner with them so that we can make sure that that information is accessible to our audience as well.
Thank you. How can the audience get more, and I think you have answered this a little bit, how can the audience get more information about the website?
Okay, well, I gave the website address, and let me give it again. It's www.nadtc.org, and that stands for the National Aging and Disability Transportation Center. But there are other ways of getting a hold of us as well. You can call our toll-free number, and our toll-free number is 866-983-3222. So I'll give that one more time. It's 866-983-3222. And when you call that number, a recording will come on that says, press 1 if you have information that you need for if you're an older adult. 2 if you have a question or you're a person with a disability. And 3 if it is caregivers. And so then 4 if you want for other callers. And as soon as you do that, you're going to get a live person. You're done getting recorded voices, and you're going to actually talk to a live person who can then answer your question and get you what you need. I think that's really important. I get really frustrated when I call something and I go from one recording to the next, and none of the choices fit what I need. And so we think it's really important that you get to a live person as soon as possible. And they can answer your questions about the Americans with Disabilities Act. They can answer your questions about transportation. They can answer your questions about other kinds of accessibility. And if for some reason the person who answers the call is unable to get the answer right off the bat and tell you right then on the phone, they'll take your information, look it up, and they'll get right back to you. And that's really a nice service to have. In the case of the Americans with Disabilities Act, and you get someone in our office, and that will be Ken Thompson. And Ken has become so popular that people all around know Ken, and if you go someplace with him, he becomes a rock star because everybody has talked to him on the telephone. So he worked with us when we were Easter Seals Project Action and continues to work with us in the new National Center.
Thank you. The last question is there anything else about the website that I missed that you would like to talk about?
I would like to tell you a little bit about some of the other resources that are on there. We have all kinds of publications on the website, and you can go, they're all free. And so there's no service that we offer, nor is there any publication or resource that we have that costs anything for anyone to use. So that's really an important fact that people need to know, that everything that we offer is absolutely free of charge. And our publication topics are on the Americans with Disabilities Act. They're on assessment tools so that you can look at your community and assess it for accessibility. It's on coordination and planning and public participation so that we make sure that people who have needs for accessible transportation, whether you're a person with disability or if you're an older adult, that you're involved in the planning and can have some input into what transportation should be about. We have materials on driver safety and transition. We have things on emergency preparedness, on funding, especially such as Section 5310. I have a class starting on Thursday, an online class on Section 5310 for communities and human service agencies and others so that they can find out how could we qualify for that additional funding in our community. On private transportation and how to make sure that if you need accessible transportation, how do I make sure that my taxi is accessible, or how do I make sure that if I want to go on a motor coach, How do I make sure that I can get an accessible ride that way? On public transportation, on rural transportation. I'm originally from North Dakota, and transportation in rural states is very different than transportation in an urban environment like Washington, D.C. We have programs on volunteer transportation, and we let people know how those programs work, or maybe they're in an area where they'd like to start a volunteer program, and we tell them how to do that. So we have lots and lots of resources. It tells when webinars are coming up that people can participate in, and this online course, like I said. So lots of resources for people.
It sounds like a wonderful website, and it sounds very exciting.
Well, we're excited about it, of course, because this is new for us, and we want to make sure that people have the resources they need when they need them. Many of you are familiar with Easter Seals Project Action, and all of the former resources from Easter Seals Project Action have also been moved over to this website. So they didn't get lost, they're still there, and people can take advantage of those as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And as I said, it's very exciting that this is a new website and just starting up during the ADA month, because the ADA is 26 years old, and transportation is right for people, for all people, but including people with disabilities. So
We're excited
about that.
We're excited about the 26th anniversary as well. We've come a long way since the beginning of the ADA, but as you know, and as many of the people in your audience know, we still have a long way to go. There's still things that we need to accomplish to make sure that everything is accessible, including how you get to the bus station and how you are able to get your rides and make sure you get where you want to go. Everyone should have the ability to get where they need to go when they need to get there.
Thank you. And if you have any questions about this or any other policy issues, please go to the AUCD webpage and look for this week's In Brief. And if you have any questions about this, questions or concern about this week's Tuesdays with Liz, please leave them in the space below. Thanks again, Carol.
Thank you,
And
Liz.
happy ADA anniversary. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.